Am I the asshole for leaving an acquaintance in a foreign country? This happened over the 2019-2020 New Year, so pre-lockdown. I recently saw Sandra again, who yelled at me, so I'm having fresh doubts about whether I was right or not. Me, a friend of mine, Tessa, and her acquaintance, Sandra, all mid-20s, took a 2-week backpacking trip to Ecuador over the New Year. Tessa left after the first week, so the second week was just Sandra and me. On the bus ride back to the city on our last day of the trip, Sandra started chatting with some random dude from South Africa. He invited both of us to a house party he knew about that night. Our flight was 5 a.m. the next morning, and I didn't feel comfortable going to some unknown person's house that close to our flight. I told Sandra that I wasn't going and that she shouldn't either, but she insisted. I told her that if she wasn't back when it was time to check out of the hotel and leave, I wouldn't wait for her. She said, "Sure, whatever, I'll be back," and took off with the guy after we checked into the hotel and dropped off luggage. This literally reminds me of all of our trip to Germany and Czech Republic, and like you would have a new boyfriend in each city.
Okay, but it was innocent. You're acting like I wasn't.
No, you just liked making friends and having boys fawn over you.
Literally, that was exactly it. Like I would just like make out with them and be like, "Do you love me?" And like in their like broken English, like, "Yes."
It was so cute. I just think about Lucas. He was adorable.
No, Lucas was the best.
He was so cute. I love it. Okay. The next morning, she wasn't at the hotel. Neither of us had local SIM cards, so I shot her a text and called via Wi-Fi, but no response. I wrote a note on the bedstand and left a message at the front desk for her. Told the staff there she might be back to check out and left for my flight home. Wow, she followed through on that one.
Yeah.
She wasn't on the flight, but when I got back to the US, she had sent all sorts of extremely angry messages to me and Tessa, swearing me out for leaving her. Apparently her phone had died at the party and she wasn't able to get a ride back to the hotel. She had expected me to come pick her up. She did give me the address of the house party when we were at the hotel, but I never agreed to search for her or pick her up. And I told her I wouldn't wait for her. I never apologized for leaving because honestly, she is an adult who made her own choices and she remains pissed at me because I left her in a foreign country. And she said, I could have been dead for all you know. Am I the asshole for leaving her and not taking a taxi to this party she might have been to search for her?
This situation's so frustrating because I understand it's kind of like one of those cardinal rules. Like you're in a foreign country, you all watch out for each other.
Especially with, sex trafficking as a woman.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my concern. And I'm also thinking, did she seem like she was in her right mind when she was saying that she was going to this guy's place? Like
it sounds like they were sober.
Yeah. So it's like if she was sober, then it's like
she made that choice.
She made that choice and she is an adult. So it's kind of like a sticky line because it's just like, yes, I want to make sure you're safe and support you, but also like you don't get to drag me through dirt and expect shit out of me. Like that's not fair to me. So like we need to have a mutual relationship where it's like you are being mindful of me as well if you want me to look out for you. And you gave no fucks about me. So why should I miss my flight back home when I was doing everything I could to try to like get you on the same like page as me?
Yeah, she tried to convince her not to go, like insisted she didn't go, but she still went. And it's the fact that she's so entitled. Like, I thought you would come look for me.
Right.
How would she even know?
What country were they in, by the way?
Ecuador.
Okay.
So she makes a comment also. She goes, I appreciate the helpful awards because I was extremely not helpful in this situation. Also, this happened at the capital city, Quito. Quito and Ecuador are a great place. I recommend going, but not staying with people you barely know. Yeah. And definitely bring someone who speaks Spanish. And I think that's the other thing too. Like, especially if it's a long trip, like this is 2 weeks, it's a decent chunk of time. Don't travel with people you're not really friends with.
Oh, she's not close with her?
It was a recent acquaintance.
Oh, then fuck that. Yeah.
It's rude.
Yeah, that's so rude.
I mean, if you left me in a foreign country, I'd be pissed. But one, you'd never do that.
Yeah.
You'd be at the party with me or we wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, we would decide together. That's the difference is that like I would go with you if like
I really wanted to go.
yeah, and like, but then I would go with you, and if I wanted to go back, I'd be like, we need to go, like, come with me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's just, it's like when you're an acquaintance, it's like, yeah, she's a fucking grown adult, and unless she seemed blacked out, like, yeah, if she seemed like she was just not there, like, drag her back home, like that would be the best thing that you could do, because that is fucking scary. But if she was saying this sober or like seemed in her right mind, like, that's on her.
It is. And I don't know. It's just, it's crazy to me because every single time I go on a trip, like even if it's in the United States, my grandma will call me and she's like, Morgan, just remember that movie Taken, don't end up like that girl. And I'm like, oh, okay, grandma, like I'm going to be fine. But in my mind, it's still something I always think about when I'm traveling as a woman. Like I don't want to get napped.
I just remembered something your dad said.
Oh God.
When he was dropping us off to go to Europe, he was like, all right, girls, don't do anything fucking stupid because I'm sure as hell not Liam, what's his name?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. He's like, you'll be fucked.
I can so see him doing that.
Like literally as he dropped us off at the airport, we were like, bye.
I know. And that was my first big trip out of the country.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd gone to Canada, but when you grow up in Minnesota,
Yeah.
that's basically your backyard. It's pretty close.
Curtis, like a hockey player for the Kings. Well, he was. I remember when I first met him, he was like from Canada. He's like, oh, you're from Minnesota. In a very Canadian accent. But he's like, whenever I think about Minnesota, I just think of it as an extension of Canada.
It basically
and he
is.
literally drew it out on a map for me.
Sometimes I
like-
wish it was. I love Canada. Not the asshole. She shouldn't have gone to that party at all. Female, alone, in a foreign country, going to a house of some guy she just met, and without even making sure her phone is fully charged. You did kind of leave her there without knowing if she's alive and well, but she didn't give you much of a choice. Try and look for someone who might start yelling that you are ruining her night or miss a flight and spend a fortune on a new ticket. Situation is complicated, but Sandra did her best to make it complicated. That was the top comment.
Okay.
And OP goes, right? Shouldn't even give me a time she expected to be back. So should I have gone searching at midnight? 2 a.m.
Right.
I don't speak Spanish and I don't know the city or that dude or the house.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was worried I would get lost, mugged, or miss my flight
Yeah.
while searching, which is exactly why I didn't want her to go in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little entitlement there.
Yeah. I think that girl's being ridiculous for being mad at her. It's
Yeah.
like, you should be mad at yourself.